So Halloween Ends. Just finished watching it in the cinemas. It was absolute rubbish. They screwed the whole thing up. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm a huge fan of Halloween. I loved 1978. I loved Halloween 2018. I loved Halloween Kills that came out 2021. And actually, then again, I didn't like Halloween Kills 2021. It's a bit of a weird one. They introduced a new element, which I'll get into in a second. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Halloween movies. I love Halloween in general. I love Halloween movies. But the one thing that this film didn't do is that I couldn't tell when it was ending. It was pretty bad. I think this is the longest runtime for a Halloween film, about 1 hour and 51 minutes. But if there was a crime that a film production company could go down for and would get life or even the death penalty, and it was false marketing, it would be Universal Pictures. They painted this as a showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. That was not the case. There was no showdown. Maybe the last 10 minutes it was a bit tense of them two fighting, but the whole movie went on a massive tangent on a different character development. So it bases off the story of a young kid called Corey Cunningham, who is a babysitter, who ends up killing the kid he's looking after by accident by hitting him in the face while trying to open a door, and the kid goes flying off the balcony into the ground in the house, and the parents find him dead, and you can see Corey Cunningham on the top floor looking down at the dead body, and the parents just basically blame him and he gets sent down. But what ends up happening is he gets let off, but everyone in the town looks at him as if he's the boogeyman. Bearing in mind, this film does take place 4 years after Halloween Kills. So Michael Myers is gone. He's not there anymore. He's hiding away. They don't know where he is. So essentially, they find a new boogeyman and they put it on this poor kid. Now, the one very frustrating thing is they don't know how to pace the film. In Halloween Kills, they didn't show enough Laurie Strode. They had plenty of Michael. But in this film, you had plenty of Laurie Strodes, but you had no Michael. And then they thought it would be a good idea to false advertise the whole film, saying it's going to be a massive showdown, where in reality Michael's only in the film for only 10 minutes. And why would you want to waste 40 years of character development just for a character, the main antagonist, the main villain, the main, the main evil force to hardly be in the film? I get it, you want to change the dynamic of the film. They tried something new. I give them that, but it wasn't executed really well. Another issue I had with this film is, why would you introduce a new character in the final film of the trilogy and base the whole film around him? It just made no sense. So Corey Cunningham essentially becomes the new Michael Myers. That's the story they were going with. If you don't remember, in the first trailer, there is a teenager going down a sewer tunnel, and he gets grabbed by Michael Myers, and I just assumed that he was just another kid that's gonna get slaughtered. But what ends up happening is that Michael Myers can actually sense the trauma that he's been through and lets him off, because he senses evil inside of him and wants him to carry on his work. Essentially, that's what it is. It's passing on your legacy to someone else. And it was very short-lived, because at the end of the film, Corey Cunningham dies, Michael Myers dies, the whole film is dead. And then you go on a little tangent in the fact that this kid is going through so much trauma, becoming a boogeyman around town. No one wants to go near him because he's known as a child murderer, even though it was by accident. This is what I mean by character development. You've got a kid who has been bullied. He ends up becoming a killer. He ends up dating Laurie Strode's granddaughter, and he ends up becoming so obsessed with her, and it kind of took out the element of the obsession that Michael Myers had for Laurie Strode over the course of all the Halloween films. So Corey Cunningham has a bit of a fond obsession with Laurie Strode's granddaughter, so Allison, and he just doesn't want to lose her, and he'll do anything to keep her with him. So as Corey Cunningham is getting bullied, he ends up getting his hand injured, and Laurie Strode sees him at a gas station, helps him up, take him to a hospital, and her granddaughter's working there, and they end up falling for each other in a sense. So she starts flirting with him. He's oblivious to it, as you do, and next thing you know, they start having a bit of chemistry and start building a sort of a relationship. But over the course of the time, as he's building a relationship with her, he's building a relationship with Michael Myers after he is spared his life in the sewers, where Michael senses evil inside of him and just wants him to go on a killing spree to become the next Michael Myers. Now, don't get me wrong, it would have been a great character development if Corey Cunningham was introduced in Halloween 2018, and if you built up that sort of sadistic mindset that he had after killing that kid in the beginning of the film, then I think it would have been a great way to show off a new legacy for Halloween, and it would have been a great way to create more sequels. But no, they just lost the whole plot. It just went, it was all over the place. There was no need to kill Corey Cunningham off if you were just going to develop him for an hour and 30 minutes just for him to die in the last 20 minutes of the film. This was marketed in such a way that to think that Laurie Strode and Michael Myers was going to have a massive showdown for lasting for at least an hour and a half. That didn't happen. It was only a showdown for the last 20 minutes, whereas Laurie was just trying to live her life and was trying to figure out what is Corey Cunningham trying to do with her granddaughter, and she senses evil in him. And now he's going on a killing spree, killing people, and trying to give Michael Myers his power back in a supernatural sense that he will actually become the next Michael Myers. No, they both die. Laurie and her granddaughter Allison lives happily ever after, and the film just felt so rushed, but at the same time it was dragging on for a good hour and a half. They was trying to build the character development when there was no need for it to happen. If I would recommend this film, absolutely not. It's one of those films that I'm a massive fan of the entire franchise, and it's one of those films that I would recommend to someone if you haven't kept up to date with the last two films. Because if you watch this film going straight into it thinking this is going to be a great brutal slasher film, don't expect that. There is a lot of blood and gore, but not in the sense of there's that many kills. It's a lot of character development, and it'll literally tire you out if you haven't kept up with any of the story. So if you like the review, obviously it's not my first time doing a review, but I tend not to be able to do a review on camera. I like to do it to people who I know in person. I like to give them a review of what I think about a film when I watch it in cinemas. I'm a huge cinema advocate. I've been working in industry for the last 8 years. I've been watching films since I was like 6 years old. I'm 26 now, so 20 years of just watching films and TV shows. But yeah, if you like the video, if you like the channel, please give me a subscribe, like the video, share it. I don't know, see what tickles your fancy. I've got plenty of videos for reactions, and also hopefully in the future I'll do a lot more reviews on films and recommend a lot more to everyone who's watching this video now. Yeah.